Hello everyone, I am Shroom and this is Fun Builds. If you look up Elden Ring builds online, you're gonna find lots of videos and articles talking about the strongest builds in the game with the most OP weapons and spells, but that eventually gets pretty boring. So I'm here to show you some builds that you can honestly just have fun with and to try something different. So with all that out of the way, let's begin. So this is Mohgs Priest. This is an arcane build. I don't want to call it a bleed build because even though all of our skills and weapons and spells are based on bleed, it's not so much uh, based on inflicting bleed to kill our enemies as it is to use arcane mainly to damage them and bleed as a side effect of our damage. So for our weapons, we're using the Mohgwyn Sacred Spear because, of course, we're Mohg's priest, so we gotta use his weapon. For the talisman, I'm using the Dragon Communion Steel +9 because of the arcane scaling. For fashion, we have the Sanguine Noble hood and robe, and the Royal Remains gauntlets and greaves. And for talismans, we have the Green Turtle Talisman for stamina regeneration, the Radagon Sword Seal to boost our stats, the Radagon Icon to boost casting time, and the Faithful Campus Talisman to raise the potency of incantations. Now, for spells, we don't really have a very big selection of Bleed, or rather Mohgwyn Dynasty spells. So I'm only using Swarm of Flies and Bloodboon here. But these two spells are actually really useful, not just to cause bleed, but also to put the pressure on your opponent, and in the case of Bloodboon, to sort of give yourself a little bit of a safe area that you can stand on that your opponent will not dare to go in because the bleed is pretty dangerous.
So I'm gonna be a bit honest with you guys. I did not expect this build to really need a lot of explanation because it's a bleed build or well arcane build, but it has bleed in it, so it has to be good, right? And it is good. It is pretty good. But while testing it, while using it more, I realized that there are a couple hidden things that you might not think about when using this build. And one of them is using the Ash of War of the Mohgwyn Spear a bit more aggressively. At first, I thought about just using it to buff my weapon, and that's about it. But if your opponent is being pursued by Swarm of Flies, for example, and they're trying to roll towards you, you can use your Ash of War to zone them out and just deal a lot of damage. If you manage to knock your opponent down from like a jumping attack, you can also use the Ash of War again to catch them on the way out, basically. It's very versatile and very useful. It's very strong as well. And I don't like spamming Swarm of Flies, but just using it as a tool to chase down your opponents and put the pressure in them. Basically, what I like to do is just alternate between my spells, just Storm of Flies and Blood Boon, or Blood Boon and then Storm of Flies, and then chase down the opponent as they're running away from the flies. You can usually roll catch them or catch them off guard because they'll be trying to avoid the Storm of Flies and not your actual attacks. So I think that's about it. So I'll just leave you with the gameplay so you can truly see what I'm talking about in action. So enjoy. thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. I'll see you in the next one.